coming up on the Making Waves VO podcast.
And that's cool. I love hearing that. And then it turns into, I really want to do that voiceover thing. Could you help? How could you help me? And I met a girl last week and I said, I'm going to be really honest with you. I have no interest.
Making waves.
Making waves.
Making waves.
Making waves. Making waves.
Making waves.
Making waves.
Making waves. Making waves.
This is the Making Waves VO podcast with Kevin Kilpatrick and Bobby Maxwell.
I'm so excited. I love sports. I love... Well, wait. Bobby, the Making Waves VO podcast is presented by our good friends at Full Compass, fullcompass.com.
We know VO.
I'm excited about our next guest coming up, Bobby. Debi West is going to be live announcing the Olympics again, and I'm going to wait till she comes on to celebrate something with her. But Bobby, I know sports is something that you're very passionate about, and you just love to celebrate women when they do voiceover for sports, right?
Oh my gosh. I mean, how long do you have to talk about it? This has been a dream forever to get into sports VO. I love what she's doing. Thanks for arranging to get her on the podcast. So many questions.
Yeah, absolutely. And she's a cool gal, too. We've gotten to know each other over these last couple of months, Debi West and I have, and can't wait to chat with her about the Olympics. Bobby, how's your week been as we are wrapping up the month of January?
It continues to go great. I'm loving it.
Yeah. And isn't it funny how when we do car spots, there's always the theme, right? It's like, the President's Day events are coming up and, you're going to fall in love as Valentine's Day is right around the corner as well. You're going to fall in love at such and such Honda.
Right.
Get this car. You're going to fall in love and all the themes and stuff. But hey, why not take advantage of those timely things that are happening too?
Absolutely. I do a lot of casino work, and they're always doing so many big promotions in the middle of the winter because people want to go somewhere, still warm and have fun. And so that's been a nice little perk, getting those jobs.
Well, the Olympics are right around the corner, and we have the live announcer for the Olympics going to join us. And here she is, ladies and gentlemen, the multi-talented Debi West. Debi, welcome to the podcast.
Well, hello. Debi Mae West is my full name.
That's what I was going to ask. Why don't you have the May in there, Kev?
I don't know. We chatted about that one time, Debi, and you were like, yeah, sometimes
what
or whatever.
I said was I don't like to be called Debi Mae because it's not hyphenated. It's not one name, but it is my stage name, I guess, if you will. So people that are close to me call me Debi Mae West. People that are very close to me call me Deborah May or Debi Mae. But when people who I don't know introduce me as Debi Mae, it just gives me the willies.
Okay.
But
so
I've made it. Mae West.
I've made it to Debi Mae West as an intro.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, but that's my name. Like Debi Mae West would be my name. That's how people would know me. Okay. But no one says, hey, Debi Mae, could you?
Gotcha.
I gotcha. Well, thanks for joining us on the Making Waves VO podcast.
Oh, my gosh. I'm so happy to be here.
And can I just take a moment to celebrate you on winning your Emmy for announcing the Olympics? Congratulations on that. That's so fantastic. Let's talk about that moment that you found out that you had won the Emmy for the 2024 Olympics, right?
Yes. And I'm going to clarify what the Emmy is for because it was. So first of all, I have been a voice for NBC Sports for many years. I'm going to say at least 13 years, maybe more. I've been doing promos for them. And back when Tokyo was happening, the producer that I was working for, Josh Goldman, he gave me an opportunity to do some stuff, and then they ended up hiring a celebrity voice. But at that point, I said to my agent, I'm going to be the first woman voice of the Olympics. And that was my goal, and that became my dream because I love the Olympics so much. I feel like it's where a little bit of peace on earth still exists. And so then Beijing came, and that was the last Winter Olympics, and they actually hired me and another woman. I did the cable, she did the NBC feed, and then for the Summer Olympics of 2024 Paris, I got a call from Jim Thompson, one of my favorite people on earth who I've worked with for many years over there. He does all the ad sales, and he called me on a Sunday morning and said, maybe you want to sit down. I was like, okay. And he said, we would like you to be the voice of the Summer Olympics. And I was freaking out and I was crying and I was so excited. And he said, you're going to do everything. And so I did all the promos. I did the Olympic Zone show. I did all the bumpers. And then I did all the ad sales. And really for me, the voice of the Olympics as I was growing up was always when the rings come on and you hear da, 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 da. And that voice was always a man. And now that voice is me. And so I get to say the games of the 33rd Olympiad on NBC and Peacock are brought to you by, and I do all that stuff. But anyway, so after the Summer Olympics, which was amazing. I don't know if did you guys watch any of this
Watched
Summer
a fair
Olympics?
amount, yeah. Especially the golf. I mean, I love golf, so that's what I was checking out.
I was really excited about the breakdancing, but it didn't
my gosh.
Didn't really happen for me. I didn't like that it was outside and during the day. It was so inappropriate. But anyway, I loved the Olympics. And then Jim, funny enough, speaking of Debi West, Jim called me one day and said, do you want to be Debi West or Debi Mae West for a nomination for an Emmy? And I was like, oh, well, I'm Debi Mae West. But he calls me Debi West, and which is fine. I'm Debbie. Nobody needs to say my whole name. There's Hefe, my dog. Anyway, I forgot all about it, and because months went by, and then last year in 2025, I got this email from Molly Solomon, who's she's the big cheese, amazing. I mean, she's really in charge of a lot of the Olympic presentation for NBC Sports. She sent an email out and said, congratulations, you're an Emmy winner. It was the first time they included announcers. And so then I, got to order I got to pick between a plaque and a statue. And I was like, I'm getting that statue.
Yeah.
So I got a statue. It's so beautiful. And so it's interesting because I wasn't nominated as the voice of the Olympics. So I wasn't up against voiceover actors or anything like that. It was play-by-play. It was the entire presentation of NBC Sports presentation of the Paris Olympics. So they won 16, and so I got one as well.
Well, you were a huge part of it.
Life.
You should be so proud of that. So proud. Congrats on that. That's amazing.
Thank you so much.
Where is it in your house?
Well, funny enough, in my kitchen, in between my kitchen and dining room, there's a nook. And the nook has a light beaming on it, and it's even got a dimmer switch. And I used to just it was kind of like my mom's old cookie jar that my sister finally gave to me. My mom passed away years ago. And I was like, that's my cookie jar. And she was like, no, it's my cookie jar. It's this old Red Riding Hood, really old, beautiful cookie jar. And she finally said, you should have that cookie jar. So that was sitting there. And just like my sunglasses. And so I cleaned it up, and now there's a little wooden podium. It's not really a podium. It's about 3 inches thick. There's a piece of wood, and then the Emmy's there. And I threw a party for her because I didn't get to go to the sports semis. But all my friends here on Kauai said, we want to come over and celebrate you getting an Emmy. And so we all dressed up, and we had a bunch of food, and I gave a little speech, and it was really sweet. So I got to feel at least the feeling of winning something.
Well, wait a minute. Let's talk for a second about having the perfect life. You have a dream job, and you're living in a dream location. Hello, how good is your life?
I mean, I really can't believe it, to be honest. I grew up in LA. I lived in LA pretty much my whole life. I moved to New York briefly in 1999. It was interesting because I was really an up and coming voice person, and I decided I wanted to do promos, and I thought New York was the place to go for that. And I was doing a lot of animation. I was doing a lot of commercials. I had really kind of in the early 90s, I don't know. I didn't even know what voiceovers was. And I fell into this amazing career. I had an incredible team behind me. One of my agents just decided, I'm going to make you a star, and she did. And together we made some great things happen. And so I moved. I swapped apartments and I moved to New York, but that was like 7 months because then that big AFTRA strike happened in 2000, and I couldn't get arrested. And I was the voice of Mervyn's at that time, which was really cool. So I was working, but then I went back to LA, and then I got work in New York. And then, but mostly I've lived in Los Angeles my entire life. And then during COVID, I just had this weird vision one night in my studio. I saw Kauai, the name, in lights. And I had taken up surfing at the ripe young age of 51. And I decided I want to be a surfer for the rest of my life. And I just came here for a couple of months during COVID to surf when they opened up the islands. And I was lucky enough to have just refinanced my home in Venice. And so I ended up buying a house, and just literally, it was a crazy, wild, not thought thoroughly through decision. I left everything behind. I grabbed my dog and my cat, and I moved to an island.
Wow.
Yeah.
Impetuous
So
much?
Yeah. It was funny because everyone I know just kept saying, wow, you're so brave. And I can't believe you did that. And I'm just like, there was nothing brave about it. I didn't think. I found a house, and I was like, this is my dream house. I can actually buy it. I'm going to buy it. And I'm not married. I have a ton of friends, and all my family's in LA. And I knew that I could still do voiceovers because I've been working from home since I became the voice of HGTV, which was, 25 years ago.
Wow. It's
So
just getting better and better.
Yeah, I've been a remote voice actor for a very long time. I mean, it's funny, I just saw that Bo Weaver hung up his microphone this week. You guys know who Bo is,
he
right?
did? I didn't know that.
I didn't.
Wow.
Yeah, he hung up his microphone, and wow, I just had a flash. I got to tell you guys. Can I just tell you a story real quick?
Yeah, go for it.
So I'm a dreamer. I have dreams every night, and I remember them, and they're very incredibly vivid. And I literally can't even write them down because they're so vivid that if I start to write, it'll take me an hour to write a dream. And I want to get up and go surfing and do my auditions and, hopefully have work. So anyway, I'm a dreamer. The other night, I dreamt about Don LaFontaine. I'm in a car with his wife and his daughters. And for those of you who don't know who Don LaFontaine is, he is the godfather of the movie trailer voiceover, among other things. He's one of the most known voices in our field. He created movie trailers. He was a producer. He is the first in a world voice. Yeah. And anyway, so I rode around in his limousine years back because he used to do that. He would take 3 people around, and I was lucky enough to be chosen to do that with him, but haven't thought of him in years. He passed away years ago. So I'm in the car with his wife and his daughters. I don't even know if he has daughters. I think he does, but she's got this gold piece of jewelry. I'm going to say it's a watch or a bracelet, and it's so heavy, and she hands it to me to hold on to because whoa, I'm now connecting with Don LaFontaine on the other side, and my body starts shivering, and I'm having he's telling me what to tell them, and it's this vivid, bizarre dream with, seeing him on the other side. And I have seen people on the other side before in my dreams only, but this one was wild. Like I was doing a reading, and I was thinking of getting in touch with his old agent Vanessa and telling her to just tell his wife that he is great and happy and good, and told me to say hi, but that was just 2 nights ago. Isn't that weird?
I wonder if the gold was your Emmy.
Well, you know what? So here's what happened. So a couple weeks ago during the Christmas and New Year's break, I got some promos from NBC to do for the opening ceremony of the Olympics. And I had a few days. It's all unsupervised. And on that Saturday, I thought, okay, I better get this done. It's due by Monday and I'm still kind of at the end of the break and I'm wanting to have fun with my friends. I better record these. I get in my booth and I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't know how to do this. What am I doing? I can't do a promo. Wait, I sound so fake. And I literally had a meltdown. I was crying. I was trying to figure out who to call. It was maybe it was even Sunday. It was Saturday or Sunday, and I was like, I can't call anyone. They're all at the end of their breaks, and who would I call? And so I texted that agent that I told you about. That was my first agent. She's a manager in Minneapolis. She didn't get back to me. I texted my producer at Fox and said, oh my God, I need a session. I need a coaching. I don't know what I'm doing. And I just had a total meltdown, but nobody responded. So I had to just get it together. And I did. And I found a way to get myself where I needed to be. But the cool thing was, after that dream, I realized that Don LaFontaine came to me to be my buddy for the upcoming Olympics in Milan Cortina, because now I'm just going to have the confidence of Don.
There you go.
Don't go anywhere. The Making Waves VO podcast returns in a moment.
This is the Making Waves VO podcast with Kevin Kilpatrick and Bobby Maxwell. I'm Chris McCloy, and they didn't pay me a dime to say this. Why am I doing this for free? Hang on a sec. I'll talk to my agent.
Oh, Bobby, I remember getting into voiceover, and one of the most exciting parts about getting into voiceover is buying all the gear. You don't realize that until you become a voice actor and you got to produce your own stuff. And you go, ooh, this part should be fun. But then you go, I have not a clue on what I'm supposed to buy.
Exactly.
That's why you trust your good friends at Full Compass, fullcompass.com. They know VO there, and you're going to have a great selection of pro audio gear, and you're going to get a lot of good help. And there's a lot of good attributes that go along with buying from Full Compass.
Yeah, so if you're not really sure when you got the piece of equipment and you have questions about it, they have a free 2-year service or repair plan. They have free shipping on orders over $49. I love that. I think my favorite thing is the low price guarantee, because you just never know. You said a second ago that you're getting into this and you don't know what you need, but how about, do you know if you're paying the right price for it? So you don't have to worry about that when you shop at fullcompass.com. They'll guarantee to match the price on the products they sell for new, identical, and immediately available products offered at a lower price.
They have flexible financing, Bobby, and they also have free expert assistance, and that's why we say we know VO at Full Compass.
Everything from microphones to interfaces to headphones to mic booms, they've got it.
If you have any questions and you're more old school and you want to call them on the phone, you can call Full Compass at 800-356-5844. Full Compass and fullcompass.com.
We know VO.
Making Waves returns.
Are you going to Milan?
No, I'll be right here on the island of Kauai.
Okay, I didn't know how that worked if they needed somebody on site when you're
Wouldn't
the
that be
voice.
cool? I wish that I could convince them to put me with Snoop or something, and I'll do the voiceovers and Snoop will just be all nutty, and that would be amazing. I'm just really holding the space. I don't even know. I'm praying. I'm thinking. I'm putting it out there that it would be so cool if I still get to be the voice when it gets to LA, because my whole life, I'm an LA girl. Like when I jumped out of a plane, the song LA Woman was playing. I was the voice of the NPR station for over 25 years called KCRW in Los Angeles. I mean, I'm an LA chick all the way through and through. So I have to be the voice of the LA Olympics.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, let's talk about that a little bit more. I want to get into the nuts and bolts a little bit, Debi Mae West. What is your role?
Well, so I'm the voice announcer, because they have announcers that are there and they're also called announcers. But I'm pretty much the only one that does voice only. So some of those announcers who are on set or at the actual games, they will do a voiceover for some of the videos that they run. But I am the voice of all the ad sales, which changes every single day. So at 7 a.m. every single day, I come into my booth and I get an hour session, which is, like I said earlier, when the rings come on in between all the breaks. And the games of, this will be the 34th Olympiad on NBC, are brought to you by, and it's all the sponsors. And that changes daily based on, I think, who's going for gold or what's happening, what's exciting. And so different companies, Coca-Cola, Honda, I know is one of the sponsors. Toyota is a huge sponsor. Dick's Sporting Goods is a huge sponsor. So I'm the voice. I do the little mini spots for all of those sponsorships. That's in the morning. And then what I did for Paris was this really cool show called the Olympic Zone. So the Olympic Zone is a half hour before prime time. So one of the cool things that NBC is doing is the way they present the Olympics has transformed over the years, because it used to just be, the Olympics was on and now what they do is they have live Olympics all day long. They have live Olympics on Peacock all day long, or you can choose what you want to watch on Peacock. You can choose a sport and rewatch something. Also, I think USA, I think even Golf Channel has some Olympics. And so prior to the main show at night, which will be Prime Time in Milan, which comes on prime time, and that shows you all the juicy who won today, or maybe you're watching something live like Ilya Malinin going for gold, or you're watching ice skating or luge. Don't you love the luge? I just love to say luge. So the Olympic Zone is a really cool half-hour show where they tell you something about the city. So like, for instance, in Paris, every night they had a little story about butter, because most people don't know there are hundreds of types of butter in France. So they might do a show about croissant. They might do a show about butter or something French. And then they'll choose an athlete and they'll talk about them and they'll walk you through the city. So the Olympic Zone kind of takes you straight into the city where the Olympics are happening and, give you a little history, give you a little background. So that show, I did the opening intro, all the bumpers. So I was the voice of that show. And then promos I do during the day for prime time it was Paris. Now it'll be prime time in Milan. And then I'm doing all their social. I just did a Peacock spot yesterday. Not all their socials. I'm doing promos. So I'm sure there are other people doing stuff that are part of it, but luckily enough, I'm getting calls already I got a call from Peacock yesterday. So I'm the one that it's the go-to voice, which is the most exciting thing I could ever imagine as a voiceover actor.
So I'm guessing that this is because of your relationship with NBC Sports. I'm sure anybody who wants to do sports promos is probably going, how do you get that work? Is it your agent? Is it your relationship with NBC Sports? Or is it your talent manager?
Well, so the NBC relationship was only between my New York agent and NBC and me. So I guess I auditioned. I don't even remember auditioning. I auditioned years ago for a promo, which led to many NBC Sports promos. So I've done everything from ice skating promos to I've done golf. I've done skiing, gymnastics, all kinds of sports promos. And then they actually created the Olympic Channel. Did anyone ever see the Olympic Channel? It was 24/7. Yeah, so I launched that network and I was the voice of that network. It didn't make it, so they didn't keep it going. And then it just kind of turned into them giving me opportunities because, like I said, they really used more men for Olympics announcement stuff. And I just kept creeping my way in there. And so that's how it happens. And, I've done a lot of other sports promos as well. I mean, I want to do more because I love sports is so exciting, and I have that gritty voice, and so my voice is very sporty, and so I'm doing all the Big Ten Network women's sports right now, and that's a cool job that it's super fun. I'm doing women's basketball right now, and so I do a lot of sports promos, but I mean, I do all kinds of promos, and I've been really, really lucky to have a good list. I've got a nice resume. People are always like, oh my God, that Emmy's on your resume. I'm like, yeah, voiceover doesn't work that way. Nobody looks at your resume. They just listen to your last audition.
Yeah, exactly. And so when you're doing, let's go back to, last summer, when you're in there and you're in the trenches and all these things are happening, you got directors and producers in your ear, it's got to get intense. But what would be among the most intense things that you have to deal with?
Well, here's the thing. The people at NBC and Peacock and the people that are really in the trenches are, first of all, over there in Paris or going to be over there in Milan. So I was privy to the planning Zoom call last week, and for the first time, I listened in on what really goes on the ground. And that is intense, like driving up a mountain in a snowstorm, like a 2-lane highway, how they're going to get the cameras. And so I got to listen in on all of that. I thought that was so thrilling. But then there are all the producers and the editors and the engineers in Stamford, Connecticut, because that's where NBC resides. They are working, 18 hours a day. They are just like up in the middle of the night, and they're go, go, go. So my contract is written in a certain way that says I can do this many sessions per day, and then promos are separate. But for me, what I decided, along with my producer, is that I'm available 24/7. And because I am on an island living a dream life, I don't want anyone to ever think that, I'm this diva in any way, shape, or form. I'm available. He did call me at 3:00 in the morning during Paris and said, I literally just went, yep. And he's like, are you up? And I'm like, yep. And I got up and I recorded at 3 a.m. So that part's intense because even though, I want to say that I'm up and ready, but I'm sleeping at 3 and I probably don't sound amazing, but I just really want to be that person for them. I want to be available all the time. So, and then, there's always, being, if you only have 30 seconds and they're cramming in a whole story about an athlete, that's always something in the voiceover world that you got to get everything in on time. But also for me, the most important is that my sound is coming from the most authentic place. I absolutely love the Olympics, and that's what I need to come through. My voice is my pride, my joy, how much I care. And I will say that during the Paris Olympics, because I can't leave my house, I left once because it's over 2.5 weeks, and I also do the Paralympic Games. That's not quite as much work, but I went to the gym and of course they called. And so I was like, I gotta go. And so I really was home. I became the queen of turkey Reubens during the Olympics. And, I did get a call from one of my favorite voiceover people of all time during the night, and wherever it was for him, it was late because I'm way behind everybody else. And he called me and said, I just want you to know you sound perfect. And we had never discussed, he heard it, he knew it was me, and he called me to say, you sound so authentic, you're not selling anything. I just believe you, and you make me want to watch the Olympics. And I was like, oh,
wow.
It was very cool. So that for me is the most intense part, is to keep it authentic and, and joyful.
I have this vision of you catching a wave and looking down at your Apple Watch and saying, "Oh, I guess I gotta go record."
Isn't that funny? Well, I actually do have an Apple Watch, and it does. The thing is, when it doesn't send me the emails, and my VIP emails won't come through, and so I do have to. If I was gonna try to catch a wave during the Olympics, I'd have to say, you gotta call me, because it will ring. And I have talked on the phone while I was catching a wave before.
Seriously?
Yes.
That's so cool. Do you have any authority on the scripts you get? Are you able to tweak them, massage them at all, or you have to read it verbatim?
For the ad sales, that's verbatim. There will be occasion when I'll say, you know what, that feels better coming out of my mouth like that. Just like when you and I recorded our demo, sometimes it's only just a matter of, maybe like turning words around differently, and it just might fall out of your mouth a little bit better. But, they're really good over there. There's some other people in the world that we all work for who, they're just not, they don't read it out loud clearly, and they just send it to us, and they're like, oh, this is going to be a 30-second spot, and it's like 37 seconds, and, words just don't work right. But the people I work for at NBC, they've been doing this many, many Olympics, and then all the other stuff they do at NBC Sports in between the Olympics. They're pretty great writers, and especially Jim Thompson, who I work for, specifically for. He writes with my voice in mind, and he knows, he's like, I already know how it's going to sound when it comes out of your mouth, and we work really well together. So I can I say this, but mostly it's written.
There you go.
Surf's Up. It's the Making Waves VO podcast with Kevin Kilpatrick and Bobby Maxwell. This is voice actor and studio owner Christy Bowen, and they appreciate you listening.
What about pronunciations of athletes? Do you get that in advance?
I was just thinking about that because, so I thought Ilya Malinen's name was Ilya Malinin. And I know that I've read that promo long before this Olympics. I've read his name, Ilya Malinin. And I know it went to air because nobody ever called me and said, that's not how you pronounce it. They just sent me a promo for the ice skating for some sort of competition pre-Olympics. And they said, here's his pronunciation. So I had to go to YouTube and look it up. And I felt so embarrassed. And I was like, wow. And they, no one called me, so they didn't catch it either. So I just was thinking about this the other day, that I'm going to send an email this week and say, look, or I'm just going to start looking up who are the athletes. But I'd like to have that down before. I really try to do my homework, and I usually go on YouTube and look up people's names. Yeah, so I'm very interested in how to pronounce all the athletes.
Have you heard of Building Doors?
No, what's that?
It's awesome, and you will be like, you are the perfect example. It was started a couple of years ago by a voiceover talent, Christy Harst, and we had her on the podcast. And it's basically, the objective is to get more females in on male-dominated voiceover projects. So what you're doing is just like amazing. I mean, yeah. But it's called Building Doors if you ever a chance to Google it.
And it's at her website? I feel like somebody else. Kevin, did you mention her to me?
I may have, because, it's a big deal. It's a big movement that's going on that was spearheaded by Christy, and it's remarkable. But all these female talent are reading spots like for Home Depot and for NASCAR races and various stuff like that, where it is, like Bobby said, traditionally male-dominated areas of VO.
And so is that website... including producers or getting producers to be aware of what women can do?
That's exactly what they're doing. They're reaching out to the big brands, and she'll have 30-minute Zoom call with them and explain what's going on. And all of us who are part of it, all of us women have we made a little snippet, like a little demo, if you will. Mine was like Major League Baseball. And just so that brand managers or the hirers can go on there and see I could hear a female doing this.
That's super cool. I'm definitely going to go check that out.
Yeah.
Building Doors.
Debbie, your voice is going to be exhausted. It's going to be strained. It's going to be stressed during the Olympics. What are you doing to protect it? What's your routine? That's all you do. Wicked laughs all day.
Well, let's see. What do I do? I will have, maybe some little throat spray. What have I got here? I've got some 365 herbal throat spray just in case. The ad sales in the morning are pretty smooth. The games of the 33rd Olympiad. That's kind of just in my wheelhouse. It's just my voice, and there's not a lot of excitement in that. So I think what I have to do is when I'm doing my other jobs, like Big Ten Network, is much more excited, and I don't push it that hard. In fact, I've been coaching with one of my producers that I work with at Fox, and he's reeling me in, and really, I think right now the read is so authentic, and so. When you're just being you can't really blow it out that much. I mean, if I was doing a Honda spot, or Toyota, some like spot like that, then maybe I would have to do something. But I don't do much. I drink 1 cup of coffee a day. I will not be drinking alcohol, for sure. And I do your exercises that you sent me, Kevin. I love your little list of exercises pre-demo. I do a lot of when I walk my dog, but I would say that I'm not a very disciplined voice caretaker.
Same here. So I want to hear about your all's automotive demo. What made you want to lean in that direction, Debbie, and how you contacted Kevin and how you feel about the whole thing.
Okay, cool. Well, I used to be the voice of Toyota Southern California for like a couple years. I did those spots. I did used to book car stuff, and I happened to go on LinkedIn. I've been, I do live on this little island, and I'm not, on the streets pounding, and the world of voiceovers has changed so much. It's very easy to slip away. So, I've been really on my own for a long time now, and not really, going to VO Atlanta or Sovas or any of those things. And so I've been kind of nudging myself to be on LinkedIn. So 2 things happened. One is I found someone through a George Witten. I heard a podcast, and I started working with a guy on SEO, and we've been working on my website and doing genre pages. And then I've been trying to just go on LinkedIn a little bit more and broaden my horizons on LinkedIn and make more, let the world know, and maybe do a little bit of bragging about my Emmy and that I'm the voice of the Olympics. And I came across a class that Kevin was teaching on that subject. And I don't know. I was taken by you, Kevin, and I was like, I just want to meet that guy, and I want to pick his brain. And I like when people straight shoot with me. I do not ever want anyone to blow any smoke up my butt. I mean, I think I'm talented, and that the thing is, I just think that I'm versatile. So I think I can do almost every area of voiceover. I know I can't do it all, but I definitely am a versatile voice actor, and I do think I can do cars again. And so I just thought, well, maybe there's something I can put some energy into. And I really have enjoyed working with you, Kevin. I just think you're great at what you do. And we made a little demo, and I think it's pretty darn good. What do you think?
Thank you. I love it. And yeah, and I wouldn't say that, but I think it's fantastic. And I know you can book work in that space, with relative ease once you get that out there and market with it. And Bobby, I wasn't even expecting her to bring that up or anything. So I was thrown off by that just a little bit. So I'm a little bit. So
were you blushing?
Yeah.
Are you blushing?
No, maybe a little bit.
You deserve a caw for how awesome you are.
Since we did bring it up though, Debbie, there's something on the demo that every time I hear you read the little clip, it just makes me smile. It's
really?
when you do that Chevy tag. Together Let's Drive. Do you remember how you did that? And you did that little curl of that little Bonnie Hunt, or the Bonnie, was it Bonnie Hunt? No, not Bonnie Hunt.
Right.
No.
Who's Bonnie Tyler or Bonnie Raitt?
No, Texas gal. She's an actor.
Yeah, she was in Arizona, Raising Arizona.
Yeah, what's her name? But anyway.
Oh my gosh.
Together, Let's Drive. You did something like that where you do that
Together,
little.
Let's Drive.
That's it.
Well,
yeah.
Yeah. So here's the cool thing about that, and this is what happened during the Paris Olympics. And I feel is a very important thing to talk about because everyone's so afraid about AI. We're all afraid of AI. I lost a promo gig to AI. But that thing that I do, or if any of us has a little thing that we can do, they can't do that with AI. And so when I was doing one of the promos last year for Paris Olympics, the team sent me a demo and it was a woman's voice. And it was a promo and I was like, wow, who is that? Because it sounded like a person. And I was like, well, why would they have someone else scratch that? Why didn't they just call me? Oh, that's an AI voice. And so I was like, okay, well, they're still using me, thank goodness. But it was a Toyota-driven spot. And I had to say Toyota. And there's a thing that I do that gives you a warm and fuzzy feeling, and you can hear my heart in it. And the AI voice couldn't do that. And so I'm really hoping for all of us who are real people. You know, I do think there's a large faction of producers out there that want the real deal and they want to keep it real. But anyway, thanks for saying that. I'm glad that you get a smile on your face, and maybe I'll book a Chevy spot because of you.
Yeah, who knows? I love
it.
That's super cool. Well, this has been fascinating, and we're going to get a quote-unquote nightmare session story from you in just a little bit. Are you nervous at all about the upcoming Olympics?
I am.
Okay,
like I
good.
said, I had that little meltdown. I'm nervous because my whole life, sometimes things have come easy to me, and I'm, like when I started dancing when I was a kid, I have rhythm, so I could dance, and sometimes I get this like I don't deserve it kind of thing, and it is our careers we don't know from day to day. I mean, you have contracts. I don't really have a lot of contracts. I have 2 jobs that I know every week I'm going to do at this point. And I've been the voice of Start TV for many, many years, and that's Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And I'm the voice of Big Ten Network, and I know that's twice a week, and that's it, And so all I have is audition to audition, and that's a hard way to live life because most people don't live that way. Most people go to work and they know what their paycheck is going to be, and so I've lived kind of with this undercurrent of like, oh my God, for 35 years. And, I've never been married. I haven't, I don't have a partner paying half the bills. And so I'm responsible. And so, I do get nervous because I don't want to lose it, but I want to be the best that I can be. And so, yeah, I'm nervous because I have this whole feeling of like, why do I deserve this and not somebody else? And, but I do deserve it. I've worked really, really, really hard to be the voice of the Olympics because it's my dream, and someone else might dream of something else. But for me, it's like someone wants to be the voice of the Oscars. In fact, someone said, wow, that's almost as cool as being the voice of the Oscars. And I was like, oh no, it's way cooler. For me.
You don't want to miss what's next. Making Waves returns momentarily.
Hello, everybody. This is Dave Walsh of The True Tell, and you're listening to the Making Waves VO podcast with my friends Kevin Kilpatrick and Bobby Maxwell.
Full Compass is your one-stop destination for cutting-edge audio, video, and lighting solutions. With nearly 50 years of industry expertise, we offer a vast selection of high-quality equipment, from microphones, recording interfaces, and software, to audio accessories, monitors, headphones, and other pieces to help you find your ideal sound. Our trained product experts are here to help every step of the way with unmatched customer service. You'll also get free same-day shipping, flexible financing options, and a low price guarantee. Visit us online at fullcompass.com or call 800-356-5844 today.
And now back to Making Waves. Speaking of the Oscars, real quick, are you friends with Randy Thomas?
I have known Randy Thomas for a long time. I haven't seen her. I did send her a note when her house burned down in the Palisades, and she was grateful for that. Is she going to be the voice of the Oscars again?
I'm not sure. What I was going to bring up is, have you heard about the business or the website she's starting up? It's called VOG Live Announcers. A voice for every unforgettable moment, where her mission is to pair voices with events. And
wow.
Yeah, so you need to talk to Randy.
Wait, so here's my question. When someone who actually is a voice person and they come up with these ideas like building doors, are they really trying to get work for other people, or is really their main intention to get themselves work?
I obviously think they're going to want to get the work, but I think it's also kind of a humanitarian thing. You know, it's like there's a need, and why not it be me, the person, to fill that need for other women or other voice of gods? That's my opinion.
Well, it's funny because that movie that In a World. Did you guys see that?
Yeah,
movie? And I just sat there and I was like, oh my God, that is not how this works. Like, someone doesn't say, I'm passing the baton, I'm going to give you this gig. Nobody gives somebody their gig. And so I've always, and I'm, this is a conversation, like you said, maybe it'll be another podcast, but I've had this feeling for a long time when I've been lucky enough to have a very, very solid career. For 35 years, I've had a solid career. I never had to become a coach. I never wanted to become a coach. I don't really think I'd be a good coach. I could be like excuse me, I'm drinking water and now I'm burping, so sorry. I could be like someone's, team captain or whatever, and I could be a cheerleader, but I don't know that I could coach someone in how to do voiceovers. And so when all these conventions started, and now there's, I don't know, maybe hundreds, but thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of people trying to become voice actors, the water is just so filled now. I mean, the ocean is so full. And so I just really keep to my lane. I just really have been keeping to my lane. I'm like, okay, I'm not going to go get involved with that thing or go talk at that convention. I mean, nobody asks me anyway, but probably because maybe someone knows that I feel this way. But I don't know, like, do actors start conventions where like people who want to go to Hollywood and be, are there actor conventions? I'm so full up with voiceover conventions that I'm just wondering why all these people want to give away their work. So that's always been on my mind. And maybe there's a better way to frame it. Maybe you can help me frame it.
Yeah, I think ultimately, especially in terms of conventions, it's money. People want to make money. Going back to Christy and the building doors thing, like that, you could tell 100% that was a passion project for her, and she's really trying to make a difference for women in voiceover, where buyers don't feel like they should give women a shot on certain types of VO, and she's trying to prove them wrong. And so that is definitely a passion project. I don't know about Randy. I don't know Randy that well. We've had her on the podcast. We've met a couple of times. Seems like really nice lady.
She's a cool woman. I mean, she's a rock star in my opinion.
Yeah.
I'm gonna definitely reach out to her for sure.
Yeah, but I don't know. But I know what you mean. But yeah, the end game for a good majority of the people, though, is earning some cash one way or the other. I was thinking about this the other day. The voiceover world has its own economy. There's so many people buying and selling within just the voiceover community. You've got coaches selling their wares. You've got demo producers selling their wares. You've got convention people selling their wares. You've got tech people selling their wares. And a lot of money is passed back and forth. So we have our own little economy, and, people are just trying to get theirs.
That's a positive way to look at it. But, anyway, I don't want to embarrass you again. But, you actually not only, help someone like me who wants to try something different, or like find a way to create some work for myself, not just, going through my agents. And I have 5 agents and a manager, so I get plenty of auditions, but I just know that there are 500 people on every audition now, and not 25 or 30. But, you, Kev, what I really appreciate is you're also guiding, I know when the demo's finished all the way, you're going to give me a little bit of advice and say that's what you want to kind of do with this. And so it's not just blind.
Yeah.
And, people call me or, people meet me and they start with, oh, I'm really a big fan. And that's cool. I love hearing that. And then it turns into, I really want to do that voiceover thing. Could you help? How could you help me? And I met a girl last week and I said, I'm going to be really honest with you. I have no interest.
Nice.
And I said, I'm so sorry. I don't mean to, I hope that's not harsh, but it's not interesting to me. I can't help you. I can tell you about some great classes. I know some great teachers. For sure, you should take acting classes if you want to do voiceovers. But I can't help you start a career. It's just not, and I don't want to.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Is that mean?
No, it's not.
No, it's honest and to the point. And
I am so over it. And let me just bring up something that happened just last week, and just kind of crawled all over me because to me, it was insulting. And here's what happened. This guy that I know, I'm not even friends with him really. But I get a message from him last week, first time in at least 2 years. And I'm like, I don't care. It's fine. He's a nice guy. He's a nice guy. But we're not buddies. We're not friends. We don't talk all the time. But he sends me a note. Hey, Kev, you need to hire me for some voiceover work. Here's how I sound. And then he recorded, he literally pulled, one of the local radio stations, and he did a quick read of one of their imaging promo things. And, hey, you're listening to WKRN, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, oh, my God. Oh, my God. And I had to stop typing what I was typing. And I had to, Jesus, take the wheel. I'm going to step away for a second because I was mad. I was mad because I am so insulted that people think that they can just open up their mouth and say a thing and then be a voice actor. No, we fucking trained and worked and dedicated our lives to this, struggled, scraped, figured shit out. And then you just want to bust off in here and think and insult me thinking I have no talent. Clearly, if Kevin can do it, anybody can do it. No, motherfucker. I have been working on this for 30 years almost, or 26 years. So anyway.
And by the way, what an opening. Dude, you need to hire me.
Yeah,
he must have
you need to hire me for some voice work.
It took him so long. He's like, what am I going to,
Exactly.
How do I open? You know what? I'm just going to say it.
That's what it was.
It's like when we were radio, Kevin, they'd always call up and say, can you get me tickets for this concert? It's like, come on.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, my gosh. Anyway, I don't even know how we got onto that, but
I was talking about conventions, and then I just said, because, I do feel a little left out. Like, my friend went to the Navas ball, I guess, a couple weeks ago, and I was like, oh, they're all wearing pretty dresses, and maybe I should get involved in that because I know there's a lot to do with AI, and I miss the community. When I was in LA in the 90s and we were all going from audition to audition and to our agents, and I mean, it was wildly amazing. I mean, I feel so lucky that I got to be in that moment and be one of the players during that time when there were only 5,000 people doing voiceovers. And, I miss those people. I miss seeing them. And so that's to me, I'm feeling, oh, should I go to VoiceOver Atlanta? I mean, I probably have a great time. And I would like to do a couple of things, and I would like to dip my toe, and I'd love to talk about my career. I mean, I honestly, it's funny because we don't get a lot of accolades, and we are by ourselves most of the time. And now we're not even getting directed. It's like someone sends you copy and they're like, make sure it's under 30 seconds. And, and so it's a very lonely job that we have at times. And so, I don't know. I forgot what I was going to say.
but I love the thought that you are considering putting yourself out there some more and just, re-engaging in the VO community.
That's what I want to do. I want to re-engage. And it was funny because last, when it was becoming 2025, I don't really do New Year's resolutions. And last year, I thought maybe I should write a speech as if I win something. And this was like, I had no idea I was going to win the Emmy or anything like that. And I just thought, I just want to remind myself, because I have done, a lot of commercials and promos. I was the voice of Fred Meyer for 16 years. So I said, what's on your list today? Hundreds and hundreds of times. And I voiced a lot of networks, and I can't remember them all. And so if someone said, what have you done? I'd be like, I can remember certain things. Anthony Bourdain, No Reservations. There's stuff I'm really proud of, but I thought, I bet I should write a speech. And then I won an Emmy. And so I don't know, I guess it would be fun to encourage someone that's, with like what's possible, because I went to music school. I was going to be a rock and roll star, and I fell into voiceover. I did not pursue this career. It pursued me, and I'm very, very, very lucky because I couldn't have been a rock star because I don't have the voice for it. But I do have a voice for radio and a face for radio.
Hi-oh, there it is.
Hey-oh.
I got a T-shirt in my booth right now that says that.
All right.
Hello, this is Colette Redgrave, actor, voice artist, and presenter from across the pond. And yes, we even get your podcast over here, you guys. You're listening to the Making Waves VO podcast with Kevin Kilpatrick and Bobby Maxwell.
This has been such a blast. We're going to let you go in just a second, Debi Mae West, but I want to ask you one thing, and then we're going to get to our nightmare session really quick. Why is spreading love and spreading kindness so important to you?
Oh, you gave me chills. I make little videos, spread love, spread joy. I love people so much. I really do. I'm going to cry, Kev.
I do my research.
Thank you. I just feel like it's all I can do. It's like, I feel like it's my job. I feel like, weirdly, I was born the week that JFK was shot, and my mother was cooking Thanksgiving dinner and watching the television, and the president was shot on TV. And so the whole world was crying when I was born. And so I don't know if it has anything to do with it, but I just have spent my life trying to spread love and joy and kindness. And it's the most important thing to me. And, I'm an intense girl. I'm not, I've got a big personality, and some might say I'm harsh, but I always turn things around with people. And I really, when I go on Instagram, that's what I want to do. I want to spread love, and I want to spread joy, because that's all we got right now. If we aren't kind to each other, things are looking pretty crazy right now, for me at least, the way I'm viewing our country and the planet. And so I'm just in my little way. I meet a lot of people. I talk to people in line. I talk to people in elevators. I talk to people in the water. And when I'm traveling, I talk to people everywhere I go, and I create a little story with whoever I meet. And we feel like we're friends for life, and it might only last, a few hours. And that's just who I am.
I love that.
Oh, I love that.
That's awesome.
Very
Keep
nice.
spreading the love, joy, and kindness. And that is the reason why we are going to make an exception for this version of the Nightmare Session, where Debi Mae West is going to tell us about a positive recording experience.
Okay, so I'm in Santa Monica. I'm recording, I don't even remember. It was a commercial, mattress firm maybe. I don't know. It was a long time ago. All of a sudden, the fire department shows up. And the hottest, most gorgeous Santa Monica Fire Department team is all over this studio. And we're like, what's going on? What's going on? What's happening? Well, there were kittens up in the attic. And the fire department came to rescue the kittens. It was like out of a movie.
Yeah.
These guys, and they rescued the cats. I went back in and I recorded the rest of my job. And when I came out, these guys were on the street with their shirts off, taking selfies of all of themselves with the kittens. And I could have died and gone to heaven because I love a hot fireman.
They had a calendar before it was cool.
Right? I should have just started taking pictures and made my own calendar. But it was the funniest story because I honestly don't really have a nightmare story to tell. But yeah.
Well, that's a unique one, though. That is certainly unique and, well worth sharing with us. Debi Mae West, thank you so much for joining us on the Making Waves VO podcast. It has been a blast.
I am so honored to speak with you both, and thank you for, it's just making me feel good and happy, and I'm going to go into the Olympics with some confidence, and thanks for letting me tell my stories, and thank you, Kevin, also for making me sound awesome on my demo, and Bobby, I'd love to get to know you too, so thank you so much, guys.
You should get to know her, Debbie, because Bobby books over 300 car spots a year.
I'm jelly.
Yeah.
Wow,
you know what?
Jelly of you.
You know what I was going to tell you too, Debbie, was that the spot that you're having some issues with because it's not your normal sound.
Yes.
That's the kind of sound that Bobby books those with.
Oh, maybe we could have a little chit chat.
Yeah, I think we should chat about it. So
I would love
it.
it.
And we can find a way to dial it in more to you, but still honor what the buyers are going to want in that space.
I love that. Well, I love that you guys have a podcast devoted to us little voiceover people. It's very cool. I know that we have an envious job, and a lot of people want to crack the code. And luckily, we've the three of us have cracked our codes. And thank you so much. And Lacey, thank you so much. And I hope I see you in Dallas, Texas. She's gone. Oh, good. Okay.
On my microphone, but thank you. I'm really excited to meet you. I'm my very first convention, and I'm gonna be sure to track you down.
They're pretty cool, I gotta say. I didn't really want. I did one convention years and years ago for Blizzard because I've been on World of Warcraft for a long time, and it was a very weird experience. Excuse me again. And I didn't think I'd want to do them, but when the anime thing came out, I mean, I did Naruto for 20 years, and it's been a long time. But when someone said, you have a Funko Pop doll, you should go sign autographs, and I was like, okay. But I love it because the fans of Naruto are so true, and I've met generations of family from their 5-year-old, which is way too young to watch Naruto, but they do let them, to the 12-year-old, and then to their parents that are in their 20s, and their parents and the grandparents, and they all have watched Naruto, and it's over 750 episodes. And Lady Tsunade is a badass, wonderful, incredible character, and I'm so proud that I'm her voice.
Well, you rock it. I mean, Lady Tsunade is one of my favorites of all time, especially because of what she does with her arc and with Sakura and all that kind of stuff. So it's just,
I'll tell Kevin and Bobby, one of my favorite lines, because she has the biggest boobs in the world. So she's this blonde. She looks more like me than she does the Asian woman that first portrays her. So I'm overdubbing Japanese. So she's got gigantic boobs and blonde hair with pigtails, and she wears a little bindi on her forehead, which I used to too, because I used to go to Burning Man and I wore all kinds of crazy stuff. And but she wears high heels, she drinks, she gambles, and she's a badass because she can heal others. She has healing jutsu. She can also she does generation rebirth, so she brings herself back to life. And women dress up like my character, And a lot of them are very buxom. And so they go through life with their giant 40 triple D boobs. And they come dressed as me and they cry and cry when they meet me. And I hold them in my arms and we just have the most amazing time. It is so cool. So
fun.
And that one in Dallas, Texas or Fort Worth is my favorite one. You will have a blast. It's like a Halloween party for 3 nights. It is so much fun.
Oh my gosh, how cool.
That's awesome.
So,
well, Debi Mae West,
Kev, yes.
Thanks so much for being on with us today. If somebody wanted to reach out to you, are you open to that? Maybe
Of course.
Okay. Just
Always.
check out your website and get you there.
Sure. Perfect.
What is that? DEBIMAE West.com?
That's me.
All right. Well, there you go. Bobby, what a great time, huh?
Oh my gosh, thank you so much. I'm in awe. And good luck next week.
Thank you so much. It's February 6th it begins, but I guess we're on the road to the Olympics. And Kev, I will be in touch next week with you.
Sounds good. Perfect.
Thank you guys. I'm honored. You guys are wonderful. And thank you so much.
All right. Be well. We'll talk soon.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye. Well, Bobby, I guess she figured out the button to use to get out of the meeting. Debi Mae West, she is a hoot, man. She's just real. She keeps it real. There's no pretense, and we just love people like that in our business.
Yes. Oh, so fun.
Oh, yeah. That's going to be intense, though. Doing the Olympics. Woo! It's a lot of pressure, but that's good that she's already done it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. If she's done it before, that takes a lot of the edge off.
I think we need to get her back on, though, so we can talk about, some other aspects of her career, like the sports promo work and then the anime work that she does. I think could be its own topic.
I wanted to talk more about HGTV. As soon as she said that, my ears just like...
And I knew it. I'm like, uh-oh, Bobby, we're going off somewhere else. We kind of wanted to keep this one focused towards the Olympics since it's such a huge deal. But yeah, we'll definitely get Debi Mae West back on the Making Waves VO podcast. The Making Waves VO podcast, by the way, is brought to you by Full Compass, fullcompass.com.
We know VO.
We'll do it again soon, Bobby. Bye.
The Making Waves VO podcast is produced by K2 Media Productions with hosts Kevin Kilpatrick and Bobby Maxwell. Sound design and editing by Jason Traver. Production assistance by Lacey Deline. Publicity and social media by Shannon Scott and Silas Phillips. Be sure to subscribe to the Making Waves VO podcast on your favorite platform. For all episodes, merchandise, gear, and more, visit makingwavesvo.com. Until next time, I'm AJ McKay. Keep making waves.